The success of your dental practice and your success as a dentist is really at the mercy of your staff. If you've got a great team that delivers amazing customer service, you'll be able to build a very successful and very profitable dental practice. However, you could be the best dentist in the world, but if you've got a team that is average or below average, you're going to be under a tremendous amount of financial and emotional stress as you have to constantly run around putting out fires in your business. Today, we're going to talk about why you need to implement a strong system of accountability to monitor and improve the performance of your team. Hi, I'm Nick from RevUp Dental, the company that helps dentists get more new patients, grow their practice, and beat their competition. One of the biggest challenges we faced when we began working with dentists is that we would build them a great website, do their SEO, rank them high on Google, create a great social media presence. But what we were surprised to find out was that in a lot of cases, that didn't actually create a big improvement in their new patient count. When we doubled or tripled the amount of new patients calling the practice, we expected to see double or triple the amount of new patients booked, but this wasn't happening. We were really curious to understand what was going on, so we started to listen to every single call coming in, and let's just say what we found was pretty shocking. Across nearly every dentist that we worked with, the customer service and the new patient experience was lacking at best. We found hundreds of instances of staff being rude or dismissive to patients, not taking the time to engage with them or answer their questions, often just talking to patients with this demeanor that said, "I don't really care." Let me give you an example. Just 2 weeks ago, we listened to a call from a dental practice where a patient called at 4:31 p.m. on a Friday. Now, this practice closes at 5 o'clock. The patient wanted to book an appointment for next week. The receptionist told him, "Oh, I already turned off my computer. Can you call us back on Monday?" Do you think this patient came back on Monday? No, they went somewhere else. The dentist didn't even know about it until we showed them. In another example, one of our dentists had recently purchased the Zoom teeth whitening system, and they wanted to get more patients coming in for teeth whitening at the practice. We built them a brand new landing page, did their Google AdWords campaign, and started to get more calls for teeth whitening. Somebody saw the advertisement and called the practice and said, "Hi, do you guys do teeth whitening?" The receptionist says, "Yes, we do." The patient asks, "Well, how do you do it? Is it take-home trays? Is it done in the office? How does it work exactly?" The receptionist says, I don't really know. The hygienists have something that they do. I'm not really sure. You'd have to talk to them about it." The patient says, Okay. Well, could I speak to the hygienist?" And the receptionist says, "Actually, the hygienist is on vacation this week. I think she should be back next week. Could you try calling back then?" Patient says, Okay, thanks." The receptionist didn't ask the patient their name, how he found the practice, his phone number so she can follow up later, or anything at all. The funny thing is, this practice actually could have seen the patient because they had multiple hygienists and doctors in the office that could have done the whitening. Also, the dentist who owned this practice also owned a practice just down the road, just 7 minutes away, and the receptionist could have referred the patient to that office. Do you think the patient called back a week later to book the appointment? No, of course not. He went to a different practice down the street. What was shocking to us and to our dentists was that these weren't rare, isolated cases. This was often the standard experience that new patients were getting. Take a look at what one of our clients had to say when we started to share our findings with them. I've blurred out the names to keep things confidential and not identify any particular practice, but this is pretty much the reaction every one of our dentists had. Here's one of our clients that operates a very large cosmetic practice in Toronto that focuses on dental implants. He had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 10 years on marketing his practice and training his staff, and he was under the impression that they were delivering world-class customer service. Here's what he had to say when we shared with him a dozen call recordings showing him the experience that new patients were getting when they were speaking with his staff. "Hi, Nick. I am absolutely appalled by this. I can't believe this is my staff. I have so many questions." Here's another quote from a large established office that we worked with. Again, this dentist had spent thousands of dollars on marketing, consultants, and training. We shared with them just a handful of examples of how new patient inquiries were being handled, and here's what this dentist had to say. "Oh my God, this is absolutely not the way I want my business handled. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will address this ASAP." We got this reaction from virtually every dentist that we worked with. Here's another example. One office manager said, "Hi guys, that call was very difficult to listen to. That was probably the worst customer service I've heard on her part in the past 2 years that she's worked here." Key note here, that she's heard. But here's the thing, nobody was recording or listening to any of the calls coming in before we came along. So how many times did it happen in that past 2 years? This is like catching someone stealing and thinking, well, it's only the first time that they did it, so I'll forgive them. But the truth is, that's just the first time you caught it, not the first time that it's happened. In many cases, the problem is that the receptionists don't really know what to say and they give patients the wrong information. In one example, we had a patient call one of our clients to book a consultation for Invisalign. The new receptionist, who had only worked there for a few months, told the patient, "Oh, I don't think we do Invisalign." The patient was confused because they were looking at an Invisalign page on the client's website. He thought maybe he called the wrong practice, so he asked the receptionist if she knows anybody in the area that does do Invisalign. The receptionist then proceeded to give the patient directions to one of our client's competitors just down the street. Now, this may sound like I'm just sitting here bashing dental receptionists, but the truth is we were actually really shocked to discover this. We were just trying to figure out why new patients weren't booking, and we never expected to find out what we found. So how can you tell if this is happening in your practice? And if it is, how do you fix it? Well, it turns out the reason this happens is because nearly all dental offices are lacking a strong system of accountability. This is what we started to implement in each dental practice that we worked with. We did a few things. We tracked and recorded and listened to every single call that came in. Our team found out how many calls were coming in each month, how these patients were finding the practice, if they were new patients or existing patients, who spoke to those patients, and whether the appointments were booked. And if they weren't, why not? We looked at how each staff member was performing. We found instances where if a new patient spoke to receptionist A, they had a 60% chance to get the appointment. But if that person spoke to receptionist B, only 25% of those calls turned into new appointments. We tracked each new appointment request that came in from the website and followed up with the staff to see what happened. As we started to do this, it became clear that in a lot of cases, the new patients who were requesting appointments weren't even being contacted. And if they were, it was often days later after they already decided to call and book with a different dental practice because nobody had reached out to them. Once we started to hold the staff accountable for those appointments and follow up with them to see what happened, we found that a lot of the patients started to book and our booking rates more than doubled. Take a look at an email that one of our dentists sent us. "Hi Nick, just a brief update to report something astounding that happened yesterday. We booked 9 new patients all in one day. Mind-blowing considering nothing anywhere near this has ever happened, and rarely do we get this many in a full month, never mind in a single day. All but one came through Google." The truth is we didn't actually do anything different on Google. All we did was implement a system of accountability and follow up with the staff about each appointment request. And surprise, surprise, things improved. So if you're not happy with the amount of new patients that you're getting, you need to ask yourself, what are you measuring exactly? You may be measuring how many patients come in, but are you also measuring things like how many people contact you to inquire about different dental services? How are those people finding you? Who is speaking with those patients? What is your staff saying to those patients? What is the result of that conversation? Do you actually get the appointment booked? When a patient requests an appointment from your website, how quickly do the staff contact the patient back? Is it in a few hours or is it a few days later? When your staff can't reach a patient, do they try to follow up multiple times? Or do they just give up after the first attempt? Do you know? If you don't have answers to those questions, then it's likely that you're missing a strong system of accountability in your office, and that is critical to building a successful and profitable dental practice. I hope you found this video useful. Again, my name is Nick, and if you want to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing to our channel, or you can visit us online at RevUpDental.com. Thanks for watching.